We're going to get canceled if you don't spin this around a little bit.
Yeah.
There we go.
This isn't Chick-fil-A. This is corporate chicken.
Oh, yeah, okay. I have been recording for the past 12 seconds.
Yeah. Cool.
Shit.
Are we going to go ahead and are we going to do an intro?
Yeah. I mean, if you want to, like, we can cut it at any point. Yep, give me some of thems. Good job. That's his favorite part.
We got the cable mess on the table today. We're looking real professional.
Fucking clean-up crew Jeff over here. All right.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to WAK, where we discuss topics important to the amp guard community at large and talk with interesting people from around the foam fighting world.
No, this is a hammer time.
Holy.
There was
Holy
no
shit.
warm-up to that intro, even a little bit.
I
It's
mean-
perfect.
Oh, we didn't even get the intros into that.
Ah, it's fine. I can edit it in. It's whatever.
Oh, hell. No. Start it now.
No. This is a hammer time. Oh, fuck
Yeah,
it. Fine,
start-
Jeff. Push the...
I'm Sir Flowbojan Thunderhammer,
And I'm Teflon Frosthammer.
And I'm Cabbage Tidehammer.
and this
Is
WAK.
If Amp Guard Knighthood means anything, you can't knife a motherfucker and keep it.
And the thing that people need to understand essentially about arts and sciences events is that your scores don't matter.
Do you want a black phoenix or a white phoenix?
Jeez, language, man. We're
Yeah,
on
right.
a freaking podcast, for fuck's sake.
Mind-blowing experience, right?
Hey, everyone. Welcome to WAK, where we discuss topics important to the amp guard community at large and talk with interesting people from around the foam fighting world. Depending on how this gets cut together, this might be the second or fifth time that we've
Oh, this
done
is going to be cut together in the least charitable way possible. Are you
Awesome.
kidding me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
It's the behind-the-scenes stuff. It's bloopers. You know, it's good.
So we are doing a wrap-up to Serpent Belt, and in honor of that, none of us wore garb.
Yeah, also, we
Um,
all forgot garb.
I didn't. This is my home.
yeah, we
But-
could just all wear the same flows garb.
Yeah, we could all hop in some triad garb.
I'm good.
But I want to do a wrap up of Serpent Belt, and then I want to talk to you guys about Flame Belt, which is coming up, and we have some really cool guests lined up for that. I'm super excited. I say that a lot, but I am super excited for some of the people we have coming up. But before we get into that, we had some interesting topics of discussion for Serpent, and I think that the three of us are kind of divided on some of them. So. Lucas, what were some takeaways you had from Serpent?
All right, so Godric was cool as hell, and I love that guy. I tried to, like, build that scaffolding in my mind, like, get that framework, like, oh, you know, game the judges, game the system. If the system's broken, fuck it, be better. But, like, I can't, man. I don't have that level of care in me anymore. Like, I am much more on the Dame Linden side of things, where it's like, yeah, your scores don't matter. That's honestly, like... But it was a really interesting take, and it's refreshing to see somebody who is that honest, who's very much just like, fuck it, the system's broke, I'm going to take advantage of it and do their thing. So I didn't totally agree with it for me personally, but it was a good hot take.
Oh, I loved it. Like, I'm not going to lie. It's my favorite take on it, to be honest. So
Yeah, but this is you in a nutshell. Like, you like gaming systems anyway.
no, I would never do something like that.
Okay. Didn't you tell the story about going to some, Banner Wars and hiding the flag or building an impossible to carry flag or whatever?
Just making a concrete slab as a flag? No.
Yeah,
we
because
would
they didn't
never
define
do that.
flag in their rules, so yeah, okay.
Mhm.
Never you, though.
That was Jay, not me.
Oh, yeah, of course. You guys don't ever run in a pack or anything, like fucking hyenas.
No, never, ever at all.
No, I think one of the more interesting things for me, too, was no matter who we talked to, it was like, what are you working on right now? And they're like, oh, fucking everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you would think that, you know, like, oh, I'm doing this piece of garb or I'm doing this belt. But they were all like, no, I'm dabbling in this and that and trying something new. And they never did say, this is my thing and this is the only thing I do, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah, and there's a lot of like, hey, I'm really good at this, but I am branching out a little bit and I'm trying this thing and I'm horrible at it.
Yeah.
Like, it's good to see people who are highly successful in their fields and being like, you know what, this part of it, not so much. You know?
Yeah, it's refreshing, too, to see people that we consider to be experts basically just saying, like, yeah, I don't know anything about that. You should Google it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hey, I don't know how that works, but there are some people that are skilled. You should find them. And like, oh, okay, so you don't have to know everything. I don't know is not a dirty word. Also, dog, it's hot as fuck in your garage right now.
No, it's
Oh.
fine. It's just you.
Okay.
You allergic
Yeah,
to
this
something
is-
over there.
I'm fucking dying.
This is
apparently.
why the fan was on up until we started recording.
Oh, I
'cause
regret.
it can get a little warm in here.
It's okay.
Oh, it's
We'll
great.
make it through. I'm gonna be just as beat red as I was on the last episode, which because of the chronology of this show, will be the next episode, as it turns out, because of how this works.
We should really I have our light system picked out. It's got like a good cut light.
Yeah.
No, my Neolithic ridge hiding my eyes in the shadow is great. What are you talking about? Look at these things.
Is that what that's called? The Neolithic
Yeah, I think so.
ridge? Okay.
Yeah.
But no, we should really go pick that up. It's $30. I'm just lazy and haven't done it.
That's not too bad then.
No. But yeah, no, I really loved all of our guests too. Should have probably been doing this on all of the other belt months, but I want to thank Beefy for coming on. I want to thank Sir Darko for coming on. I'd like to thank Sir Godric for coming on.
And Dame Fiddles and Squire Arco.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sitting down and talking with us. It was a whole lot of fun to get different perspectives. I actually want to come back to Godric because I appreciate what he was doing, but not for the same reasons that Teflon does necessarily. Yeah, I know, right? Shocking.
Well, and some of this is going to come back around anyway. I know Beefy is working to do a kind of beginner garb series as well. So this is this month more than any has been really productive for us because it spawned some side project.
Yeah.
We'll see where those go.
Yeah,
but-
we're. I've got a beginner chainmail thing that I'm going to be doing. That's just the basic weave that was taught to me.
Not 2 weeks ago, those were maracas.
They were. It's the basic weave that would talk to me. If for a long time listeners, if you remember the Randall episode and talking about learning chainmail, it was what he taught us when he came up. So I want to put together a video for that. But we're trying to work out a system to mount our camera. So if anybody knows a really good one that is not a C-bar, because we're poor.
OnlyFans creators, get at us. You know you've got that shit locked down.
Apparently
So
it's a ring light, man. Like, I don't know.
Oh
that
God, no to ring lights.
And make your eyes pop or whatever.
I
Yeah,
just look like a raccoon right now, and it's good, man.
Yeah, you kind of do.
but yeah,
There is, by the way, there is a picture of me, you, and Vidalia at Coronation this most recent time. I'll try to put it up in the notes. But it is the most perfect picture of all three of us because I'm standing there like, and Jeff is standing there like, yeah. And Vidalia's standing there like fucking stressed as all shit, which is everybody's standard pose. I gotta find that and
It's
put it
really
up.
good.
it is really hot in here.
I think it's this. I think it's zing. That is where it's just,
Yeah.
Is the wall cold? We have our own peanut gallery today. Jeff's wife is here. Her name is Lexi. And I promised her I wouldn't do that again. The wall is very
Slap
cool.
him.
It's okay if you slap me. I deserve it. I know
But
what
yeah,
I do.
so Beefy's take on it, where he doesn't really plot and plan very much. He says, "I have a need that that needs filling, and I'm coming up with a way to do it. Like I want a piece of garb that doesn't require any kind of sewing."
We all pegged Beefy wrong on that too, because we all said
God,
like
we did.
we all said like he's got to make the most of his
No, I
materials.
still
He
think
has to be really meticulous, and he's like, "What the fuck is muslin?" Like,
No, I think he's putting on a front, man.
too humble. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair. A lot of them though. Donnie was very much the same way. He was like, "I just go."
Yeah.
I think it was Donnie, wasn't it? Who was just like, "Yeah, I don't do a lot of planning."
Yeah, but it's kind of the build of a base, right? Like they've done so many random things
That's fair.
that they've already mapped it out on a previous project, and they just don't realize it.
Well, and Donnie did talk about when he was making the gauntlets that he went through like hundreds of iterations on each small part, where it was
That's
a little
true.
smaller, a little bigger, trying it out and moving around. So there are certain things that he's done so often that he doesn't need to put together a plan. But I think that he, more than Beefy, when he's in the experimentation phase, will map stuff out and do the cardboard templates.
I think this is the same thing as when we did Sword Month, where it's like Sword Knights are just really good at a couple of fundamentals. And this is the same thing. Like, it's just they've internalized a lot of those fundamentals to some degree.
Yeah.
No, we're getting a no. Care to elaborate? We will get you on this podcast one day. We got you into the room this time. We'll boil this frog very slowly.
I was going to say, we're boiling this frog right now.
Yeah.
But I'd rather jump him, man.
What the fuck?
Yeah, remember the belt buckle?
Oh, yeah. Okay, listen. This could be, yeah. We've got to do that.
WAK does the bullfrog jump. in
I'm not
California.
opposed.
Yeah, I'm not.
We've been wanting to do a road trip and that like
I
go
have
out west.
no idea what the hell
There
you're
is
talking
okay.
about.
Listen, this is a hammer time, so if you're still listening by now, you know we're not on the rails ever at this point in the episode. So stick around. There was a Netflix series of like crazy competitions. I can't remember what the show is called, but like it goes
like
over
homegrown or something like that. I don't
Yeah, and
remember.
like the first episode talks about the crazy cheese wheel roll they do in England, where like they all chase a wheel of cheese down a hill. And then there's another one where there is a bullfrog jumping competition in California, and people have like their own secret spots that their families had for generations. They get their bullfrogs from, and they train them. And then it's basically how far can your bullfrog jump in
three jumps.
Yeah, in 3 hops. And the winner gets a belt buckle that is legitimately really fucking
Dude,
cool.
It's the Texas style belt buckles that are huge, and it's
Like a
something-
rodeo, yeah.
Yeah.
Can I-
They're amazing.
Can we just go visit California and I'll buy you a fucking belt buckle that looks
No.
close to it?
No, I have to have a crazy story to go with it. Like that's half the fun.
I mean, if we have our mini competition between the three of us and one of us wins it, it's probably the same.
We could commission a belt buckle, yeah.
You want to go look for frogs later today?
I'm not
Lucas?
opposed. Well, like the Texas State Disc Golf Championship. The prize for that is a big belt buckle too.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't mind that, but I'm never gonna win that fucker. So
Do they have an amateur league that I could go compete
there is
in?
amateur worlds technically.
listen, if you watch these bullfrog jumpers, everyone's kind of an amateur. Like they're all like, "This is my secret technique, booga booga booga," and every one of them does that. They're like, "My secret family technique has been passed down forever." Woo! And the box like, "Ah, fuck!"
It's so good. I want to do it so bad.
I want to find the Warner Brothers frog to go on there. It
Yeah.
just sits there and occasionally does the ribbit that uses the whole mouth.
Yeah, exactly. No, something like that would be cool though. How did we get onto this topic again?
You brought up belt buckles, and I said I don't know what the
No.
hell you're talking about.
Teflon brought up.
We're not
something.
gonna
Yeah.
roll back and
I
find
was-
out.
We
I
never
was-
are.
I was talking at both of you.
Fair. Okay. Sorry. I won't edit that out either. If I'm gonna make you look bad, I'll make me look bad too. Fuck, there was something too that Godric said that really stuck with me, and now I've completely lost it. So I guess it didn't stick that well. Sorry, Godric.
I just really
Um,
like that we approach the topic in a taboo way, sort of. Like
Yeah.
everyone doesn't. It's that big elephant in the room kind of thing, and I think it's a really great episode to listen to because of it. Because it talks about judges and things like this in a way that isn't negative to judges. It's just a thing that happens because of human nature.
Yeah, we have to acknowledge the problem exists, and then maybe once we do that, we can talk more seriously about it. No, it wasn't Godric. It was Darko, and he had the thing about anonymized judging and same referencing that to quality control.
Mm-hmm.
Where like at the end there is somebody who can track down the judge, but it is still anonymous enough that the judges can be confident.
Yeah,
I kind of liked that system.
I hate
It's
it.
well, I hate it because I hate it for whatever region is going to have to run that, because they're going to be the person stuck in the middle holding the cipher and matching everything back together, and that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But it's a better system.
I go back and forth on this. Like I think that there's merits to both sides, and I don't know. I haven't done any research on what Donnie said. It's not that I don't believe him. It's that I don't know what mechanisms this company was using as a control or whatever. So
I think a lot of quality control is like that, though. It kind of makes sense that it would be.
Oh, sure. But our judging, doing a direct comparison between our judging and quality control is not a 100% accurate comparison.
Yeah, it never will be, but because there's no money in this game.
Sure. But for that reason, you cannot look at it and say, well, the guy who inspects my genes is just number 1, 2, 3, 4, so if we did something like that in AmpGuard, it would work just as well. And if we didn't do something like that, with the implication there being that if we didn't do it, it would not work out well. That's not a straight comparison. I get the point.
Yeah.
And I agree with the point, but I haven't done enough. I don't have enough data to say definitively where I would fall on it. I like Jeff's idea of doing something where you're presenting an item to the judges. If it's an open competition, it comes with problems because there's so many entries. I understand that's why you probably worded it like a best of the best, where the judges, no offense to anyone who's ever, all of us here have entered ANS competitions before, and all of us here, I think, have judged ANS competitions before.
I've had my stuff forcibly entered for me in an ANS competition. I've
You
never
can-
willingly done it.
You can tell fairly easily who your top third are. And
Sure.
that's no offense to the people that are entering or the hard work that went in, but I mean, come on.
Again, a top cut
Yeah, and that's what you were talking about. That's what I was getting
one
at.
Way, yeah. Another one is that top cut thing. I think is really cool.
Speaking of a top cut, this has been in the background for the past couple of episodes, and we've never fully explained it.
Oh yeah. Well, you can explain that. That's a
Yeah.
pretty cool thing.
Hey, how was that fucking segue though?
You mean the ripstick?
I'm gonna cut you. Not with that because it's dull as shit, but like
So this was given to me at my knighting. You can't read any of these.
we'll get some high res pictures of it, put them up in the video. It's fine.
But so this is our legacy sword. This originally started with Sir Leaf back in 1996, and was passed down to. It has a longer story with it that we'll tell at some point, but it was passed down to his squire at the time, Sir Sparhawk, and then Sparhawk brought it to Neverwinter to give to one of his really good friends, Sir Chohag, who was one of the founding members of the Triads, and it has passed down the line to there. With the colors, which you can kind of see here, representing the belt that was given.
Yeah, you can see like a
silver for
and
sword, gold for crown, some more swords, some serpents, and then my plaque, which is currently sitting in my room and has been for quite some time, actually goes right here. So everyone that's ever gotten the sword always adds something to it. That's why you see like beadwork on it and the leather scabbard and stuff.
I was gonna say that handle looks because this is. I don't mean to sound shitty, but this is a flea market sword, but that wrap is actually quite nice.
Thank you.
Like
I
there's
wrapped
actually like it looks like ray skin underneath it. I don't know if it's real, but
yeah, I rewrapped this, so thank you very much.
Nice.
That
Yeah.
was my contribution, is because it's
hey, one day is
so
one of you
old
guys
now.
gonna fucking sharpen it?
No.
That's fair. None of you needs a sharpened sword.
Yeah,
actually.
we can't bring a sharpened sword to Amp Guard. You've seen us when we get drunk, allegedly.
Allegedly. Who gave you 2 axes again? Was that Patches?
Oh yeah.
He's
Yeah,
trying to get
that
somebody
was
killed.
That was Patches that
He
gave
just
me
doesn't
that.
like anybody.
They took
Oh,
them
shout
away.
out Patches. Those were really cool.
They were, and they took them away from me in my own
Smart,
ceremony.
smart people, smart, very smart.
You kind of waved them around immediately.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course I did.
They're
I got
hanging-
2 axes.
They're hanging on his living room wall, and I,
I mean, I
sat on
wouldn't
his
have done
couch
anything
one day, and I was like,
different.
"Oh, these are really nice." Zing! Oh my god!
They're
Why?
super sharp. Don't touch them. Why
Yeah,
would
I'm
you
like,
do that?
there's a little line of blood running down my. I'm like, oh shit, who gave these to you?
No, so
What are our
story.
words, Lucas?
I will not take you to the hospital.
So quick story. We're all sitting in here getting ready for a recording. We have a guest that's on. We're explaining the rules to them, and it is the 3 of us, of course, and Vidalia is over, and Lucas's son is over, and somebody else was over at the time. Maybe Pickles.
Gone, maybe.
Oh yeah, Quan.
Yeah, possibly.
And so Lucas's son is telling a story in the background. He's like, yeah, and then I ran to the moon, and then I jumped off a mountain and everything, and then I got some axes, because axes are really, really cool, and he closed the door. And all of us sat there for a moment like, it's a funny story. Because my axes are
Flo, I gotta
mounted
go
to
make
my-
sure the axes are still on your wall.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
They're buckled to my living room wall right now, but they're also razor sharp because Patches, the buddy that got them, I believe that someone on Forged in Fire, someone that had participated in
These
Forged
are
in
a
Fire,
spared, no expense kind of knighting gift. For
Yeah,
real.
they
very
were really,
nice.
really nice.
Your sewing scissors can eat shit compared to these axes.
No, that's how he sews and cuts things. Just
That would explain some of the garb attempts I've seen.
But yeah, no, I've been trying to. We have a lot of Amp Guard paraphernalia hanging around here, and I've been trying to think of ways to kind of make this not just our sound reflecting panels back here. So we need to finish mounting stuff on the wall. So
yeah,
that
we've got the. I think we need to have Vidalia cut out the stencils, and then we can get that all done as well.
Yeah.
Hey,
The,
I'm not Monarch anymore either. I've got some sewing projects for you guys coming up too. Slough coats and short shorts.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
We're-
those have been in the works for a minute.
we're going in short shorts to court.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, the sound absorbing panels that you see behind us here, we're actually going to put each one of our personal crests on, and then maybe the show crest or something somewhere. I don't know, his forehead.
Would burn it. Oh,
You like that?
I hadn't thought of it before, but yeah.
We can
He's
make
got
one
it.
of those temporary tattoos.
Oh, temporary. Yeah, I guess that's cool too. It's whatever. It's fine.
We can't get Jeff an everlasting job stopper.
Yeah, I can't grow hair long enough to get it to go his way.
Fuck. Do we want to talk about Flame Month and what's coming up?
I do, but I want to hit you guys with one more Serpent Month thing before we move
jump
on.
the gun. Okay, what's up?
No, not jump the gun really. So
No, we jumped the shark to get into this.
Yeah,
Oh,
we did.
Yeah, of course.
So one last Serpent thing here. We heard quite a bit about planning for a project or not planning for a project, or having multiple projects and kind of going with I'm I'm working on whatever I feel like working on at the time, and the good and bad reasons that you may want to do that. I think that for people that are have already had some interest in crafting, there was a lot of really good information on the table there to help them push through what I'm going to call like the craft barrier, I really want to do this, but I don't know how to get started sort of thing. I pushed for this a couple of times over the course of the month, but what do you guys think are some good ways for people to get into some base level crafts? Like, I want to start leatherworking and I've never done it before. How do I do it? I want to start doing chainmail and I've never done it before. How do I do it?
Well, so for some of these things, I have to defer to some of the stuff that was told to us by oh god, he made the really cool plague mask. Loric, where he said, foam is a great way to start leather because you're going to need some similar tools and some similar tooling ability, stuff like that. But no matter what you do, find a way to start cheap, right?
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to go out and we talked about this on Donnie's episode a little bit too, where you don't go out and buy $1,000 sewing machine because you want to make a tunic. You borrow stuff if you can, get cheap materials, and find out if
from Beefy.
Yeah, don't borrow Beefy sewing machine because if you fuck up the tension, he will end you. And you know what? I respect that.
I actually like the way that you went about doing some of the stuff. Like, do you have your wallet on you?
Yeah, and I'm sitting on it, which is fucking terrible for my spine. But yeah, take my wallet. I just got robbed on a podcast. Fuck.
So I'm not going to open this up because it has. Well, I guess I can do the passport.
Oh, you can show my passport photo. It's terrible. I look like an eco-terrorist.
I know. I was there with you, and you said, "Do I look good?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, you're great.
You're a fucker."
So this is hand stitched. It looks hand stitched. It's supposed to look hand stitched. This was one of those things where Lucas was like, I had
scrap leather left over.
Yeah. And so this was kind of what I was thinking of when I was like, how could I get started on a project? The inspiration, if I'm not mistaken, he and I travel a lot for work, and we have to fly quite a bit. So having your passport and then other immediate cards available is very handy.
Yep.
And sometimes not having it in a cell phone case like mine is, where everything's together, is also useful. And this is, at what would you say, maybe $10 worth of leather?
I mean, it's scrap. I don't even know that I could put a value on it. I bought the leather for a different project, which ended up going okay. So, I mean, yeah, let's say $10 because,
there's scrap bins and
yeah,
TVs
there
and
you
stuff
go.
like
exactly.
That too,
like, you
so.
can get a scrap of leather big enough to make this size of wallet for easy $10 if somebody won't just give it to you.
And if you want it just to patch it together rather than the full squares or whatever, those scrap bins will be super cheap and easy to do that with.
Yeah, I mean, all this took was an X-Acto knife, and I had a leather punch, but I realized I could have just as easily done it with like just about anything, a drill bit if I needed to.
Yeah.
But like the punch, I think was $10. I mean, total cost for this project probably $25.
So my point in
some of the kits that are there, if we're speaking specifically on leather,
is a great
those too.
Is an absolute great option. My point in bringing that up is just to say, the biggest hurdle for me, at least, is sometimes just getting the project started.
Yeah.
If you can come up with the idea that you want to do, then you should just go do it. If your idea is like, hey, having a wallet would be really cool, and you walk into Tandy, like Teflon said, they have their scrap bin. You go talk to the guys and girls there and just say, listen, I want to make a wallet. I don't really know what I'm doing. I want to make it out of scrap. Maybe even patch it together. They'll help you get it all together. A lot of times they'll let you use the tools they have there.
I've never been at a Tandy where they didn't offer to let me use the tools and offer to show me how to do the thing right there.
Right.
And this isn't just because, like, we're amp guarders and we go into Tandy all the time. It's just like people I've never seen before. Like the new guy at Tandy's like, dude, do you want me to show you how to do that? We have a machine over here. Do you want to use it? And I'm like, sure. Yeah. Why not?
It applies to any craft that you want to get into. With sewing, you're not going into the Viking store and asking them how to sew, but there are people out in the game.
The Viking store?
Husqvarna.
Oh, I was thinking IKEA.
Is IKEA a Viking store?
They're from Norway or something.
Sweden? Okay.
They're from one of those countries that had Nazis at some point.
That's Europe.
No.
That's Europe.
I mean, yeah, okay, fine. Anyway, go on. Go on with your thing. You're probably right.
But tell me your quote again.
Quantity has a quality all its own by Joseph Stalin.
Yeah.
It's a good quote, goddammit.
It is.
But yeah, no, my point in bringing up I have an ant in here? Oh, that sucks.
I got distracted at the same time you did by it.
You're gonna die, Ant. But my point in bringing all of this up is just that there is a solution out there for you. Start with what I think would be cool. It can be something as simple as just a sash for a sewing project. It can be something as utilitarian as I think it would be cool to have a real leather wallet. And then ask someone, if you have no idea how to get started, ask someone, I want to make this thing, how do I get it started? No matter what it is, you're going to find a resource somewhere. Hit up, if it's something that interests you with the Serpent stuff, hit up the SCA pages that are open to the public.
Yeah.
Where they talk about different Laurel stuff. That's what they call their Serpent Knights. Or I guess our Serpent Knights would be what their equivalency is.
Of a Laurel, yeah.
Yeah. But they have some great resources there and some just awesome ideas. AmpGuard, I'm sure, has a couple of different ANS groups that you can hop into there.
Godric has a whole group specifically dedicated to weaving, for
The
example.
Weavers Guild.
Yeah, there's you can find that episode. It should be the most recent one, or no, it's 2 episodes back. But you can find it, and the Weavers Guild is linked there. Anytime somebody's had a cool group, we've linked to it.
It's us trying to remember when episodes are is horrible because
They're
we
all out of
record them
order.
we record them out of order from when you guys see them. So
Yeah.
I mean, with sewing, you can do a simple dice bag or something like that too. Every project has like a entry level, very small thing, but you don't have to start at the small thing. If you want, you can still kind of be aggressive and go straight to the T-tunic or something like that. It's not really that big a deal.
It's not, but one of the things that I wished we had teased out of our guests that I'm only realizing now is I gotta stop drinking Diet Coke. Is we have this thing when you're programming, what you want to do is break something into the smallest component pieces and then join those together. And I feel like that applies to a lot of things. Like when I was making that wallet, it was like, okay, well, I need to cut out squares and I need to figure out the size they need to be. But all I'm really doing, this whole project was cutting out different sized squares and then figuring out how to join them together. So taking any of your projects that you want to do, figuring out what those component pieces are, and then really doing those one thing at a time is how I do pretty much everything. And if you do like sewing patterns, at least the ones I've done are very much the same way. It's like, okay, you're going to do a pocket. We're going to start with a fucking pocket. And then you can sort of gauge yourself and be like, okay, is this too much or no? Like you can very quickly figure out if you like something or not.
Yeah.
I wish we had teased that out of more people, but break stuff into tiny, tiny parts, as small as they can be without becoming absurd.
Yeah, that's fair. Large things are made from small things.
Yeah, probably. I've seen Legos.
Is that how Legos work?
I don't know.
Sorry, I just play Minecraft.
My kid does too. It's fine. I'm cool with it.
Serpent or Flame Month.
Flame Month. We've got let me pull the list up here. We just did. You'll be hearing this soon. Sir Regan from Neverwinter.
Yeah, is he going to be our first one? Oh,
He's
yeah, I think
he's going to be our first one.
on.
Yeah.
And then who can we talk about? I know that we can talk about our second guest.
Well, I don't know who you're thinking our second guest is. So we need to confirm a time, but Wunjo has said yes.
That's who I was thinking of.
Wunjo is going to come on. He was just recently knighted.
I was going to butcher his name so badly.
It's Wunjo. He's doing all of the V9 surveys. He is all over it, and he's going to be fucking fantastic. I'm kind of excited about it.
He can be disappointed at us in our Kingdom's V9 survey performance on air.
You know what? He
great.
should do it. He should name and shame.
Absolutely.
And you're our rules rep, so he's going to bitch at you.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's all right.
But yeah, I think the others we can't talk about just yet.
Hold on. I have the list here. I'm just going to look and double check you. Hold on. I'm just going to... Okay, cool. Wow, those are some really good guests. I hate that we can't talk about them.
We could have cut
But we won't.
any of that out. Except
No.
you
This is
won't.
a hammer time. I'm not supposed to do work on these. This is my week
that's
off.
True.
So people that are just listening to this and have
Just like your
thrown their
fucking
phone-
samurai sword back there. No cuts.
Yeah, okay. That was purchased at the equivalency of a China Bazaar in 1996.
Yeah.
You might have to explain what a China Bazaar is. I don't know that those are nationwide.
Oh God, I'm old.
Yeah.
Um,
It's the mall ninja store.
Yeah, you could buy throwing stars in the mall.
Yep.
My mom let me do that at too young an age. My 14-year-old ass walking around the mall like throwing them at the PF Changs.
What? Why?
Man, I was a very unsupervised child.
I believe you.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that there's a lot of different areas of Flame that we can explore. I really look forward to seeing everyone's take on Regan's approach to Flame, which is really all about, I want to have fun and I want to make sure everyone else has fun. Like a lot of times when we talk about Flame, we hear about people doing feasts and we hear about people chopping wood and whatever else. But
well, Regan, I mean, we're going to spoil it a little bit, but like, I don't think too much. He had a lot of like, make your own Flame opportunities, and here's how you can.
Absolutely.
And I loved that. And like, we kind of hit a thing there that we all kind of have ideas about now.
Yeah.
Without spoiling too much, because people got to listen to the episode, right? But like, I really like this take on it of like, you don't just have to get into the Feast Crack crew, you can do this other thing. And like,
Yep.
I thought it was really cool.
Yeah. It's a good episode. You guys should listen to it when it comes out.
Yep.
But there's other paths to Flame too that don't get talked about as much, and I think that it's kind of a tragedy. We see a lot of Rose Flame Belts. We don't see that many of isn't there 2 whole other damn awards that
Smith, Rose Smith, what's the other one that I'm missing?
Is it Lion? Doesn't Lion lead into
it does and it
Flame Belt now?
shouldn't. It does and it shouldn't. I feel like it should lead to Crown. Lion should lead to Crown. But
I'm not arguing, but right now I
mean, we
that
could also
Crown
split that
points-
here and say that a Crown Belt and a Flame Belt are very similar. Anyway, I ripped absolute ass in this studio, and Lexi is dying. I'm so sorry.
I just
So-
watched the ant crawl into the ground in the outlet over there.
I had mac and cheese before the
What?
podcast.
He's in my ground outlet?
He's
how he
in
got in.
Yeah, he's in the ground prong of the outlet over there. I don't
Ants
know
live in
what's
the
going on,
ground,
man.
dude.
What the hell? Oh, God. Go home.
Now?
Yeah.
Fuck, we're halfway through a podcast.
Um,
Yeah, no. But, yeah, so.
I'm going to kill the ant. I've got to kill the ant.
All right, do it.
He's
Not
still
cutting this
there for
out,
a
though.
moment. Are you just going to plug something in?
Well, no, then I'd have mushed ant in my ground outlet.
I don't think there's that much ant that you have to worry about it, dude.
Nah, he'll be back later. I'll find him again.
All right, let me know.
Anyway.
You're on Ant Watch.
Anyway, 3 paths to Flame, and we can be kind of specific about them, but there is Rose, Smith, and Lion.
Yeah. Lion is weird because most of my time growing up in Amtgard, Lion was kind of a crown belt thing.
It seems like it should be, but again, we can't split that particular hair now. This isn't the way we're gonna fix it. But speaking of, at the most recent coronation where I stepped down, you got your 6th Smith
Oh, really?
for the
That's
podcast.
awesome.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this because I got to see the award recs for him, but so Teflon also got his, and I got my 4th. I don't know how many I'm on. I don't keep up.
Oh, that's
But,
awesome.
But I thought it was really
Congratulations, you guys, and me.
cool. It made me feel super good because Sir Michael recommended those for us.
Really?
That's badass.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm supposed to reveal that or not, but it meant a lot to me.
Thank you so much, Michael.
Disgustingly professional.
We are disgustingly professional. So I'm still watching the ant.
Yeah,
I don't
poked out
see
just a
this
little bit.
fucking ant. Is it in that outlet?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that outlet right there in the ground for that outlet. I don't know how. We're in a garage, so
Can we get Lauren to make a head for the ant? Because
I'll
it's
get her on.
straight up in this episode.
he's just
now.
in the Hammertime now.
Yeah.
Remember
I'll
to
belt
make it-
him. I don't have a page, so I'll belt the ant.
Excellent.
Oh, hey, we could have her put
That's
a
not an ant. That's a bee.
we could have her put a hat on Jeff. Like, you know, what was the ant bully thing? We could have her
Oh,
put an ant bully
yeah.
hat on Jeff.
We could just listen. I'll just clip out Dale's dead bug from King of the Hill from the top of the van. And we'll just put it around. I'll save Lauren the time.
There we go.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
But no, so I think that there's somewhat of a tragedy here in that we don't see Smiths pushed as much.
there's only like 2 or 3 Master Smiths in the game.
Really?
There's
I tried to
very
look
few.
at Orc earlier, by the way, and it was down. I don't know what was going on, but I couldn't pull it
They've
up
been doing
at
some
all.
updates lately. If nobody's noticed, and if you're listening to this podcast, the Amtgard website actually just updated for the first time in a while. They're finally getting some traction there.
Yep.
And with that, the Orc and a lot of links got updated too. There's a post about it somewhere. You can find it.
I
Probably
think
on the
Kazan put it on Winter's Edge.
Yeah.
One. I don't know about like the rest of the.
Yeah, I assume they'll put something on the website soon.
Oh,
But
it's back up now.
yeah, there's only like 2 or 3 Master Smiths, I think, in the game.
I don't
think
even know how
it's
to look that
largely
up, so I'm
because
not going
the
to try.
award in and of itself is kind of lost among people to some degree. Like they don't understand what it stands for and things like that.
Well, we just gave King Clover now his 10th Smith before he took the crown. I think he'll get one.
Then
He's run every game in a Winner's Edge event in the past 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Then congratulations on your 10th Smith Clover. I wish that I could have been down
Clover
there, but
the
I was
Just.
working. No, just Clover.
Fuck you.
Um,
I'm proud of that one.
no, that would be really cool to see him get belted off of Smiths.
I think it would be cool just because the guy is hold on. So sorry. I think it would be really
disgustingly
cool.
professional.
I think it would be really cool to see Clover get belted for that, but mostly because Clover is absolutely like he has stage fright and hates receiving awards, and I like watching him squirm.
I'm running for Monarch.
Just to twist the knife, you know. No, it's
I'm not running for Monarch. I was lying.
yeah, that's insanity. Anyway, but yeah, it would be cool to see him get it, not only because he's put a lot of work into the game, but also because I like watching the guy squirm, and he's too humble for his own fucking good, and I think it's funny.
Clover, you already swung the bat. The ball's in the air. All you got to do is lap the bases now and not trip and fall on your face as you're heading home. So.
I don't know where this metaphor started.
Baseball.
Okay. I mean, like, I guess just like it went places.
I don't know
didn't-
where any of my metaphors start, man.
Sometimes I start a sentence and I don't really know where it's going. I just hope I'll find it along the way.
I think I've gotten a lot better after going back and listening to some of our early podcasts.
That's fair. That's completely fair.
So, what are some high level Smith things do you guys think? I think it would be easy to point to Rose because we have a lot of people that have gotten belted under Rose. What are some things that a high level Smith is?
If I recall correctly, in the rulebook, the example for a 10th Smith is a 6-month reign of battle, which Clover's already done like 2 times.
Multiple times, yeah.
Yeah. So it's basically your Warcrats and the people. Well, Warcrats if they're making the games or designing the games that are being played during Kingdom events, things like that. And local level. Honestly, the guys who are doing the champion work, whether it's the champions or not, whenever they're designing games, things like that, they should be getting Smiths.
That's fair.
It's also for demos and classes, I believe, if it's defined that something along those lines.
I play a lot of Rocket League. I know a lot about
Oh
demos.
my
Yeah,
God.
me too, man. That's my favorite thing to do in Rocket League.
Yeah, so the Smith is awarded for organizing and running battle games, quests, workshops, demonstrations, and the like while not in office, or for running such events above and beyond the requirements of one's office. And then it goes on to say a first level order of the Smith might be awarded for running a good battle game at a park level. 10th level is for running a series of fun, immersive, and well-scripted battle games or quests, providing direction for an entire reign.
Yeah.
Okay.
So workshops definitely count in there, that kind of thing.
I mean, I remember getting when we did the big switch. I remember getting kind of backdated a lot of Smiths for stuff where like I had ran an in-class workshop at an event on basic single sword or something for people that had been in the game for under a year. And
Here's
stuff like
an
that,
interesting take. It says here, no one has ever achieved Master Smith without sponsoring an inter-kingdom event successfully.
Ah, cool. So anyone else can do it from our kingdom. We're not doing any of that.
You know,
We had an
I think that
inter-kingdom
bar's
event.
a little too high.
We had an inter-kingdom event.
You
We had
talking
an
about-
Olympiad here.
Okay, we did have an Olympiad. That's
Yeah.
fair. I think that bar's too high, but that's a whole separate discussion. Maybe we should actually bring that up with some of our next guests.
Yeah, possibly. But I don't know if we'll get any of the Master Smiths or anything. So.
We should bring back on Clover
Yeah.
You know, it could be good.
and see what he thinks about it.
We could do a monarch conversation too.
No, we can't. No, I'm kidding.
No, we could.
I'm
It would just
kidding.
be me going, Clover, run. You have to run. Clover, get out.
Oh man.
What's the opposite of ASMR? That's what I just did.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God.
Was it lions, right? That was the other one?
Yeah. Lions.
I don't know why, but I always in my mind think griffins, and then it's actually lions for some reason. But yeah, so lions is also a weird one because it's leadership outside of office, basically. So that's really hard to define, and people... It's the people who are doing things that you expect them to be doing things, basically, and they're not getting awarded because usually they just are the people who you're like, oh, hey, we need something done. We'll just ask Lucas to do it, and then Lucas goes and does it.
Yeah.
And nothing's ever thought about it.
Yeah, it's in this weird gray area, it seems like, where like it's for leadership, but only for when you're not elected, and we don't know what else to give you.
So, well, okay. Then let me throw something out here that, given the description that you just now did, if I was the gatecrat for the whole event, or the cleanup crat, or the poppet crat, which in our kingdom we have someone that works with all of the kids because we're a family-friendly kingdom. People were encouraged to bring their families. Does that default to
Rose?
Yeah, so this is kind of the problem with it, right? A lot of the things from both Smith and Lion, a lot of times get given roses, which is why we see a lot more rose flame belts than we do others.
Well, and I think that we talked about this on on a podcast at some point, but part of that isn't necessarily it's not a malicious thing, and it's not I'm trying to misrepresent the awards. If let's say that Teflon does something and he has 8 roses, and everyone in the kingdom is like, holy shit, this was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. It was so rosy, but it should be, you should be getting a Smith for this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, by book, a Smith is what should be awarded. And the monarch says, I don't want to give you your 3rd Smith. I don't even want to give you your 3rd and 4th Smith for it. I want to give you your 9th rose.
The work that you did was actually way up in the ladder, but giving it as per rulebook aspects like that is really hard to do.
Can I throw a wrench into this whole discussion we're
Wrench
having right
me.
now? I'm going to read the description from the V8 Rules of Play, the description of a
That's
lion.
the Amped Wiki, so I don't know if that's...
I mean, I can click on the link to but it is, I actually did check it against the actual PDF. Lion, awarded for going above and beyond the call of duty in the execution of an office, or for leadership outside of office while performing a service to Amthgard. Does that first bit not...
So this is the hard part about that, right?
Okay,
because
yeah.
whenever you look at prior to the crown award conversion, it was however many points for excellent service or excellent terms in office. So how do you not get lions at the same time as getting crown points in that system, basically? But everyone just basically rubber stamped the crown points and then said, okay, here's your crown belt eventually, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the thing, and why it should probably be technically under crown, in my opinion, anyway. But this is one of those weird things about it. Like, we've given Heralder, I think, his 8th rose at one point because he stepped up because we had a Warcrat cancel
No, that's me.
like a day in advance or whatever, and then he picked it up and did a bomb-ass job and got his 8th rose, which I don't disagree with, but it could have just been a lion. Well, I don't hate phrasing it that way, and I think that's part of their thing, right?
Well, but
Right.
also, like, would it have been more beneficial to give him a rose? Or
Or
would he
yes,
have
I
gotten
believe
his
so.
3rd lion and like, well, fuck it, we're kind of giving him nothing. Like that's
Right. That's kind of the hard thing about the award system, the way we have it with the multiple prongs. But I still think the multiple prongs is the better way to go instead of just being the 4 prongs or just 4 ways and one way to it, basically.
Yeah. Zoltan wants to know if we want to play League.
Hi, Zoltan. How are you? Hey,
He doesn't watch this.
No,
no,
absolutely,
absolutely not. He's in the WAK Discord though.
By the way, if you haven't joined the WAK Discord, you should join it. We get on there and talk occasionally. We're usually in there 3 nights a week or so, playing games or doing
at least.
something.
Mm-hmm. I would honestly be there more if people wanted to talk.
Yeah, if you want to hang out
or
or something and come and talk, we're happy to come and talk.
Got some good memes.
something.
Spicy memes.
I don't.
There's
know.
a whole channel for disc golf.
Yeah, we can definitely.
Oh,
talk
we
a
need
lot.
to Anatole. We got to give him an invite, don't we?
Oh, that would be.
Oh yeah, just to the disc golf channel.
just he only gets access to disc golf, but he does have admin privileges, so it's fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta go out and visit that guy.
I got to go out and play disc golf with that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I spent, no joke, about an hour and 30 minutes at Coronation talking to Jarek about disc golf.
I believe that.
I
He's
do
huge
too.
into disc golf. I had no idea.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
I believe that. Jarek's a good guy.
Oh, I love that guy. No, so a couple more guests we got lined up that we can't reveal yet. Maybe if people can read lips really well, they'll figure it out. But these are some questions I actually want to ask to to Flame Knight. Like, Flame Knights, explain yourselves in your crazy awards ladder. Like, what's going on here?
They don't know.
No,
Just play the game.
but they certainly have to have thoughts on it.
Yeah.
Like, I want to know, not because, like, fix the problems with your belt or whatever, but, like, tell us why it's like this. What do you think? Or, you know, is this good? Is it meant to be this
Smith's was originally a like household, like a Smith's Guild, and then they made it into an award later on.
Yeah.
No, it was. Okay.
Yeah, you also end up close to both with Crown and Flame, I feel like. I mean, Kazan was technically qualled for both for a very long time, but there were other people that had not been knighted, and he defaulted to allowing them to have a ceremony rather than taking his second belt for years and years and years. He did that. I want to say like 8. I'm really close. I think that I'm at 8 or 9 roses. I don't know right now, but somewhere close to there. So they are frustratingly adjacent in that you end up very close. I remember being asked by the Knight Circle, like, is there one? Would I accept my crown belt, or am I waiting on my flame? Was the crux of the question, because some people really want to get one belt first over the other because it's a tradition in their line or something like that. Hey, I don't get to dictate other belt lines' traditions. My answer was no. Anything that you would like to give me, I would be very honored to receive. But you end up. I have noticed as we have looked up different people that were going to be coming on the show that they either qualled for both of those belts fairly close together, or and I say qualled because it could be that they didn't receive them.
I forgot.
Don't look.
Oh,
I did change your picture in the Amtwiki to the one with you holding the gun.
No, I looked it up a moment ago
Okay.
and I saw that. You photoshopped that in like 2010. We were still out at Carl Cowan. When
Photoshopped is a very charitable interpretation of what I did. I clipped it out with Microsoft Paint and pasted it onto your hand. But yeah, we'll call it Photoshop.
Thanks, Clippy.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah,
Clippy.
it's.
You don't.
I don't have a problem with the fact that they're close. It is just, I wish that there was a way to achieve more separation in them. Maybe that's a good way to put that.
Taking the line out of Excellence Office would do some of that, because then it truly separates them.
Well, I mean, just coming off Serpent Month, I mean, you know, you have your Master Garbers, your Master, just straight Master Dragon, there's Master Owl. Like, all of those kind of indicate that you're good at a specific subset of thing. Mm. And then when you get to, you know, Master Rose, like, what are you good at? But I mean, like, the blanket response, right, is like chopping wood, washing dishes, and that's not true. They're really good at some shit. And you just have to, like, the problem is you don't know by looking at them.
Well, and so here's some of I said that they were very adjacent, but I didn't really unpack that. By the time that you get high enough that you're getting your 10th flame, or your 10th rose, sorry, or your master flame, you have become good at organizing people almost by necessity, because you wouldn't have been able to, your sanity would not have lasted long enough if you were bad at organizing people to make it that far. That's not to say that every single master flame you come across is going to be some kind of master strategist as well, but they have had to organize a kitchen. They have had to organize people at an event, because often, at least in our kingdom and in our parent kingdom, the higher level roses have been given out for things like autocrating events. I can't speak for the rest of Amtgard, but that quality is also something that you see a lot with Office as well, with people running for Monarch. You have to have that exact same skill set to do the exact same job, and I think what ends up happening is people that are attracted to that kind of work do both.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're playing to your strengths sort of thing, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I still wish there was a way to distinguish, you know, easily, like, what this person is really, really, really good at. Because, like, I'll be really honest with you, even though we've already done the interview, when we first started with Regan, I was like, okay, so I don't know anything about Regan. You know, I've met him like once, and this was forever ago. Like, I don't really know the guy. And, like, that dude is crazy fucking talented. He loves roleplay. He loves making shit happen for his kingdom. That dude is willing to go all out for that. And that was never once did he talk about like, oh, I ran this feast and it was really cool. He was like,
Not
I played
once,
this
yeah.
character and this character, and now I'm playing the.
What did he make you say like 5 times? What's the name
He
of the
has
character?
like several different dick-based character names, and just I'm not gonna just watch the fucking episode. It's really funny, and he's a really cool guy. But
Jeff made Lucas read all of them off.
I got a swiggity swooty.
I did not. He chose to do that himself.
You made
Yeah.
me pick one, and
Swiggity
it was weird.
swooties
I
after
did
that
make him
booty.
pick
I
that
remember
one.
that one.
Yeah, there was but like they were all really cool characters, and he actually had whole fleshed out backgrounds for them, which is nuts. And like, it just never occurred to me before that like, oh yeah, that's a path to a flame belt, and that's not washing dishes, that's not chopping wood, that's just a really cool fucking thing that you can do if you were so inclined and creative enough to do it.
Yeah, it's getting out. It's interacting in battle games, which is a lot of what our game is, in a way that makes it more fun for everyone. It's engaging newer people, because that was something we've talked about it enough. You should just go watch the thing.
We're really like to just watch the next episode. It's
let's
amazing.
Just go ahead and play it now.
Yeah, just
Well,
roll
okay.
that beautiful bean footage or something. Fuck it.
I don't know. Are we allowed to say that? Is that a copyright strike?
Probably not. No.
YouTube don't copyright
We
strike
don't
us.
listen. We have 115 viewers. Why would they?
Hey, by the way, thank you, 115 viewers.
Right, yeah.
Not looking the gift horse in the mouth. I'm just saying YouTube has bigger fish to fry.
For those that haven't, smash that like button, hit that subscribe.
I respect you figuring out a way to work it into all the latest episodes. That's really good.
Vidalia said that we should work in a call to action, so I try to work it in at the worst possible place. That's my goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, we've got some cool guests lined up. I like just going through this has given me some questions I have for the next couple of guests. So this will be cool. Really excited to talk to One-Joe too. I think that's going to be a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I think that's all I've got for Flame Month, unless we can reveal the next coming guests, which I know we can't.
So, do we have a story that we haven't shared before that we could share?
Told the one about B getting stabbed.
Oh, that was a fun one.
Left Zeb at gas station.
Lexi, what's a story that we haven't told yet?
I know one that somebody could tell about Lexi.
Then good night, folks. Thank you so much.
So
for coming.
long! Is this the ladle story?
No, not
Oh,
It
okay.
wasn't a ladle. It's the sleep deprived cheese scissors.
Oh, fuck. No, I wasn't at this event. I only heard of it, like, secondhand from Chops.
So
You were there, weren't you, Flo?
I'll actually tell.
I'm bad at telling stories.
Jay was there. Just
I-
get him on the phone. He's a call-in guest now.
Yeah,
Flo wasn't there.
yeah, I wasn't, but I will tell a Lexi story real quick, since we're moving into Flame Belt Month. And I think that we told part of the story just in passing before, but this is more of a talking about making things easier on yourself and reasonable steps when you're trying to plan things out. Really, really early on in our Principality's history, Lexi was going to do a feast, and rather than do it the hard way like so many people that had come before, she found something that would refrigerate well and would taste good, legit taste good if it stayed refrigerated for 24, 48 hours, which in this case was shepherd's pie?
No,
What-
it
what was
was
it? I'm asking, that wasn't...
pork loin, yeah.
Oh, it's pork loin. There you go. And baked everything ahead of time, brought it to the event, and heated it back up there. And so there was almost no work done. There was no scramble in the kitchen. Anyone who's ever had to work in the kitchen, even in passing, knows what it's like right before feast when you're trying to get everything ready. This was a reheat 80+% of the entire meal. Were there any sides that maybe you popped on the stove there? Yep, there you go. So
if you can or can't hear, I don't know, but it was made mashed potatoes on site, and everything else went into crock pots.
Yeah.
It's like baked beans, and as Jay put it, or Subway, it was a TV dinner
Yeah.
feast.
well,
Listen.
it was crazy.
If it's
good,
on
though.
time and it's hot, it's the best feast I've ever had.
It was crazy good, and I took some inspiration when I ran a feast from her and borrowed some crock pots from the church down the road from me that are those huge ones like they use at the big revivals.
Did you just admit to robbing a church?
I didn't rob. I asked if I could borrow it for a
Okay.
nonprofit organization.
Okay.
And they said yes, and
Yeah,
I brought
mhm.
them back in good condition. But I I borrowed her idea, and I did something where I went out and bought something that I could set in those large. They're basically enormous crock pots, right? And I set it to cook for 48 hours or something on the slowest setting that it had, so that I didn't have to mess with anything. All I was doing then was popping some beans on the stove and heating them up. I don't remember what else we had with it, but be creative when you're. This goes into some of the things that we're going to be talking about, but be creative when you're going into different ways that you can help the game out, and that's really what you should be thinking about when you're saying, "Hey, I think being a knight would be cool someday, and I'd like to work towards a flame belt." Don't think about like, how do I get into the kitchen crew, or how do I do this. Start addressing it like, how do I help the game out? And if there is something that you want to do, like you like cooking, I really enjoy cooking. But if you like cooking and you want to go into that, be smart about how you're doing it. Plan ahead where you can, cook ahead where you can, make things easier on yourself when you get there, and make everything ahead of time for your friends. Like, bring your friends over. Once COVID's done, you're able to. Bring your friends over and cook in a small batch and have it set for a day or two in the fridge if you're wanting to do this pre-make stuff.
The humble lasagna has been some of the best feasts I've ever fucking had. Everybody poo-poos it. They're like, lasagna. And I'm like, it's fucking cheesy.
Dude,
it's hot.
it's
salty. Like, it's everything I want after a whole ass day of fighting, and it takes very little effort on site. Like, yeah, you have to prep, but still. Also, there's one feast that still sticks out to me, and I don't know whose idea this was. I don't know if it was you or Tie-Dye, but it was like chicken. It was like baked chicken, but you use like cornflakes.
That was the same feast, wasn't it? No.
Yeah, because it was basically chicken that could all be prepped and then baked, and it still tasted like crispy fried chicken, but it was cornflakes on the outside, which were extra crunchy, so they didn't get super soggy. That shit slapped. That was really good.
She won't. Not for $10.
I know.
What's going on?
Jay said that if you told the cheese scissors story, he'd give you $10.
What about a new disc?
We just said $10.
$10 for a disc is not.
So we were talking about disc golf. Lucas got this disc he was so proud of. He'd been practicing night and day with it. He had it's a mid approach, I guess an approacher putter, like 180 foot.
It was a brand new Jokeri.
And I mean, every time I talked to the guy, I could hear it, in the background going off. Left it in the car, it melted.
Fucking melted like an old record.
It looked like this when he's like, I want to show it to you. I've been so excited about showing it to you, and he pulled it out, and I mean, you could do this with it.
Yeah. The biggest shame of that is I got the disc the same day that I found out my back was just completely borked.
Yeah.
Just there's nothing left there, and I was like, I got this new disc, I want to go throw it, and then like that day, my back I just couldn't even stand, and I never got to throw it before it just died in my car. Yeah.
That sucks.
I'm going to see if I can't, like, heat gun it back into place. I mean, we'll see. We'll give it a shot. I was really excited about it till that. Did you get him to call? I saw you message him. Or is he going to call?
I don't know.
It's done.
Jay says $20.
Why not? In events only.
No,
story.
those exist. As the keeper of the stories, events only stories exist for liability reasons.
What if, in theory, Flo has a separate side project thing that is telling stories specifically that would be told at events? Would you tell it there?
He's talking about like a WAK after dark, which.
Whoa!
Listen, it'll be on our OnlyFans.
Only
right?
wax.
Only wax. Oh my god.
So we are starting our Patreon now, and $1 a month is going to get you access to the...
I've genuinely thought about this because, like, sometimes we'll have a guest on and we go for an hour after the episode ends, and it's like, sometimes we can't record that conversation or whatever, but sometimes it's just like we continue to shoot the shit, and that would go great on Patreon. Like,
yeah, it's behind the scenes stuff here, since it's a Hammertime episode 2. We've actually discussed doing some kind of Patreon before to help us upgrade equipment.
This
and things
shit
like
ain't
that.
cheap.
And at the time, the three of us have kind of taken up a saying that Jamie and Adam used to have from Mythbusters. We want to be proud of what we do, and we also want to be proud of what we don't do. And while everyone was in the middle of a pandemic, whether you were willing to put extra money towards a Patreon for our silly show or not, we weren't really willing to accept extra money.
Yeah, we all managed to keep our jobs. We weren't hurting for it, so we just did the thing.
Yeah. But I mean, maybe doing a Patreon. We're starting to come out of it. Maybe now would be a fun time to start it, and we could do some fun tiers. I don't know a lot about Patreon.
You'll
I'm gonna
get
be honest.
for $10 a month. You get Jeff's feet pics.
Oh, you don't want those.
Now,
For $15 a month, I won't
for
send you.
$15 a month, you don't get Jeff's feet pics. Actually, it's a weird system.
Yeah.
We should have a tier where it lists what you don't get for.
It's like jazz. It's all about the notes you don't play.
No.
Yeah, come on, we could do it. No, I don't know. I've genuinely thought about it. It would be cool. Also, like we have a lot of like blooper shit that's genuinely kind of funny that just goes up here.
Yeah.
I also want to put the survey up at some point on Facebook to figure out kind of the direction of the show after we get past all of the months. And we also have a lot of side projects we want to do.
Oh yeah.
There are. I'll tease it out there because maybe it'll make us do it one day. But a couple of other like Amped Guard adjacent podcasts have wanted to do like a Cribs collab. Because we keep talking, we keep talking about going through Jeff Teflon's fucking garage and seeing all the cool stuff in there. And then Merrick reached out and was like, "Dude, I'll go through my garage and pull out all of Imhog's stuff."
Oh,
Like,
speaking of that, Merrick threw up a TikTok of
of his old axes and
Yeah,
his
dude.
shield. Yes,
So
that was
good.
yeah. He's like these axes and like you can see the PVC and the turns of it and stuff. It's really cool.
We should have gotten Jeff and Lexi's garage before they did their third huge purging. I mean, it's still impressive now, but before that, it was.
I still think we should do it. And like, there's a lot of cool stuff we
I
can
gotta
do.
push the car out of it.
Yeah, and that thing don't have brakes, and you got a steep driveway. So
Yeah, you should get that fixed.
I was trying to, and then it didn't start again. So good stuff.
well, listen, we can work around the car, but like something like that would be cool. We've talked about doing like WAK plays disc golf, which I think could be goofy.
We could do a tabletop game.
Tabletop would be cool.
Yeah.
And we have so many fucking choices.
Yeah. Well, I was meaning like an RPG, like D&D or something like that too.
That'd be cool.
Um,
Are we gonna nose goes for DM? Like, not it.
I would just default to float.
Yeah,
at the moment.
I'd like to be DM. I think it'd be fun.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Whose story's the true story could be good. Like two truths and a lie.
Oh, that's horrible.
I don't know. Oh yeah.
I can't participate in this.
Yeah, all of your stories are exaggerated. It's
So
gonna be.
They're not. Not all of them are. I mean,
Again,
I
don't
can't
know if
name
you
one
could have
that's
heard
not.
her, but she said, "I want two people to tell the same event story."
Yeah, same
Gil-
event story, and then figure out whose is the true version of it.
Mhm.
Gillen has said, he's like, one of the reasons that I tune into your podcast, which I called his bluff, he doesn't tune into us, but
He's tuned into a couple. He's had insider info
Yeah.
on some of those.
for the sake of the conversation, he's like, you want to, because I love hearing stories that I was a part of and thinking back, and that's not how that went at all. I guess it's just better for TV. And no, man, that's you're just old and you've forgotten. That is actually
Well, sometimes we leave out parts of those stories too, just to to keep everybody a little little
free
squeaky
from
clean.
jail.
No, not jail. Nothing's jail worthy, but like
No, but the point of that was that Beefy, who was also there, totally backed me up on the entire thing, and we convinced Zeb that he was just insane and had been slowly forgetting
on
things.
today's episode of Gaslighting My Boss. Zeb's side would be great.
Yeah.
You should-
Hey, joking aside, like as a storyteller, joking aside, Zeb tells really good stories.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He really does.
Great. Honest to God, like this is no joke. Great visual comic.
He is.
Yeah.
His
He
hand
is.
gestures, his timing, everything's really good. You can give him-
Is this timing?
he gets thrown or something. All the stories about somebody getting thrown out of a van. He's got the like the impact down pretty well. Just saying, I notice it.
Okay. Also, one of the things that we could get are some cups so that we're not sponsoring McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, and everything else. Now, I'm actually doing this as a gift. Vidalia actually sent what's the
Heraldry?
well, yes, but the image
Crest?
file that I needed.
A PNG?
It wasn't a PNG. Thank you,
JPEG?
A
No.
JPEG?
though. What's the?
Do I look like I know what a JPEG is?
No, the CAD. Okay, I'm done. I got the images.
The SVG is the
Yeah.
other.
Yeah.
I got the images that I
Vector.
need, and I'm actually going to go ahead and send off. And I was like, "This is cool. Where's yours and Quan's?" And all I got was a ellipses, and she hasn't replied since. So
I'm sure she'll get around to it. She got really busy with scrolls
Yeah.
She
around
does some really good
coronation.
scrolls.
Yeah. She got a 9th dragon for that one too.
And
Yeah,
I saw that her 9th dragon was a scroll, which is hilarious.
A scroll with a Judas Priest lyric, and if anybody knows, that's her favorite band of all time. So that was really cool. No, actually, I have a fun story about that. If we want to do a story time, I have one that I can roll us out with.
Okay,
cool.
no, that would be really good. Before you do that,
Yeah.
hey, Vidalia, if you're listening, how's Ozzy doing?
Oh God, she checks every day to see if Ozzy Osbourne's still alive. Priorities. We can talk about that.
Yeah,
but
right.
So this is starting a couple of months ago. So our coronation, where I stepped down, Clover stepped up, was this past weekend. And so a couple of months running up to it, Vidalia starts going, hey, do you think I'm going to get my 9th dragon? Because I'm doing a lot of scrolls. And I said, well, it's kind of hard for me to give you your 9th dragon because I'm your fiance and I'm the monarch, and that's a really high level award. I don't know that it makes a lot of sense for me to give it. It's kind of conflict of interest-y, you know? Not knowing that I'd already decided I was going to give it to her forever ago, right? So she goes, I guess that's fair. And then salty. I mean, like, pillar of salt. Like, every day for the next 2.5 months, it was like, well, so-and-so's designed, some scrolls, and I've designed more than they have, and they have their 9th dragon. Like, I don't understand how this is fair. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but you should probably talk to Clover. Maybe he'll be able to award it to you. I just don't feel comfortable with it. So we get to the day of the event, and she's, like, deflated. And we're the type of people, I don't keep anything from her. Like, I tell her, as much as I can, where there's not, like, an NDA or something like that. But as far as, like, awards, she's got access to the awards template. She's the PM.
Yeah,
right.
right.
And so it kept it off of that, kept it off of everything. She has no fucking clue. I'm giving out awards, and I call her up before the court, and she's like, this is it, this is my time. Yeah! And she's like, she's
Vibrating.
shaky. She's shaky, yeah.
Yeah.
And she walks up, and I'm like, Vidalia, for all of the scrolls that you've made, I'm giving you your 7th Order of the Rose. And, like, dies. She dies. I watched the light go out in her eyes.
This is those TikTok compilations of watching people die inside.
Yeah, exactly. Like, she died inside. And, she's like, thanks, and goes and stands back in her spot or whatever. And then we're going through. People got kind of salty with how we had organized the awards, but it was specifically to kind of yank some people's chains because we went through them in order of award, not in order of person. So people ended up getting called up several times.
Oh,
so
yeah. Okay.
I finally get through all the roses. I start doing dragons. I'm calling through, and Vidalia's just in the background, just defeat. She's like, I don't even care anymore. And so I finally get to the last award, and all it says is the piece of paper that says 9th dragon, and she has a scroll on the table that no one but me and Obscura and a couple of other people have seen.
Right.
And so I pick up the scroll, and I'm holding it, and I look down at Lauren. She's not even looking at me. She is just like I'm like, surely to God she can see it. Baron Vidalia, step before the court, and she's like, oh, okay. 9th dragon, and she's like, motherfucker. like she genuinely, like, up until that moment was so pissed and so salty about it, and then I got to, like, actually jump her with it.
You about got her cataplexy to go off, too.
I kind of did. If you watch that video, she starts to slump. She starts to kind of droop a little bit. So it was Ferrous Oxide, and this is actually the wife of our current King Clover. She made the scroll, and it is a fantastic piece. It's got a really cool dragon cradling an onion on it. I'll get a picture of it. But super cool scroll. She did not see it coming at all. It was one of those things that I was able to actually keep hidden from her, despite the rage it instilled in her for like 2.5 months.
That's awesome.
I was pretty proud of that one. That and got Clover with his Tentsmith. He didn't know that was coming either. So got a couple of surprises in there.
Yeah, congratulations to both of you. You guys have been putting in a whole lot of work. They're very much deserved.
And really anybody who's been putting in work through the COVID stuff, because without you guys, it wouldn't be Angarb during COVID time.
100%. Yeah.
Invaluable. Pre-recorded, Lucas.
You want me to roll us out?
Yeah.
Wait. Jeff's wife has one more question. Is Flame Belt really a belt on its own, or is it just a catch-all? Does that mean like this guy's done a lot of stuff, he should be a knight, let's see if he's a Flame Belt? Yeah, I don't disagree with that. We can get that in. All right.
The answer is yes, it's a catch-all. Good night, folks.
Thanks, everybody. Hey, everyone. Thanks for listening. If you liked what you heard, be sure to subscribe to our podcast on YouTube or Spotify to get notified about new episodes. And make sure to follow us on Facebook for announcements and more.